Welcome to Rocks to Pearls, the League of Dreams podcast. I'm your co-host, Mike Bordick, and we're going to explore how challenges, discipline, and heart can transform ordinary moments into extraordinary success here on the podcast. We're going to have conversations with athletes, coaches, educators, business leaders, and many more as we uncover how we can all transform the rocks of life into pearls. Frank, we got a great podcast today. Last year, you and I had an opportunity to go visit one of the oldest and well-established industries, I guess, in the world, really, especially here in Maryland. It's over 100 years old. The Blind Industries and Services of Maryland. What a special place that was. What do you recall of that visit?
Well, I think the first thing that comes to mind is, it's in an area in southwest Baltimore County that people ride by all day long. And, you ride by different towns and buildings and say, I wonder what's up there. I wonder what's over there on the hill. And I think that's the beauty of what we discover with League of Dreams. There's so many hidden gems in communities. There's so many people doing great work. And that in itself is what we're trying to bring through and with Rocks to Pearls. And it's just amazing work that they do. They serve the community with all different levels of blindness. I mean, really their drive is to employ, educate, and train. And we've had a long relationship with Maryland School for the Blind, and we see our students there going to the next level. So the leadership, our contacts with Jessica Normington and their CEO, Michael Goss, they're just wonderful people that are doing great work in our community. So it's very inspiring. And, we love being a part of what they're doing and promote. And the show like today is, people just would never have thought of it. So I'm so glad we're doing it. And you and Adam had a chance to be a part of it.
Yeah, one quick thing though, before when we did our tour there of the Blind Industries, I was blown away. First of all, was how I thought we were going through an antique shop. So the old printing press, it's got to be one of the oldest in the country, and they're still making paper for the government. They're making uniforms for the government. I mean, my gosh, it is so impressive to see what they can do, and it's pretty inspiring. And you mentioned the point that Adam and I got to be on a podcast. Well, yeah, they have an awesome podcast called Beyond Sight. And Adam and I got to share our stories a little bit. We talked about the League of Dreams, but I thought what was really interesting is their co-hosts of this podcast. And one's name is Kolarek Ford, the other one, Bordick Simon. They shared their experience as well. And they grew up in sports as young blind kids, man. And it was a blast listening to them. And they are all about, the impact and, being independent for the blind community, and they promote it so well. Adam and I had a great time on the show. I hope you all will enjoy it, the podcast as well. Remember, their podcast is called Beyond Sight.
Our listeners can find this interview on BISM.org, BISM.org, and enjoy the interview with you and Adam, but also enjoy the interviewees who are part of this podcast every month and learn more about this fantastic organization. So that's where you can find it, enjoy it, and we're so proud to be able to present it.
Welcome to Beyond Sight, a BISM podcast. I'm your host, Kolarek Ford.
And I'm your host, Bordick Simon. And we're here to share stories of impact and independence among blind and low vision individuals
Here at BISM and beyond. This podcast is sponsored by listeners like you.
So subscribe, like, rate, and review.
And tell all of your friends about us as we uncover new stories and go beyond sight. Hello and welcome back to the Beyond Sight of BISM podcast. I'm your host, Kolarek Ford, and I have my wonderful co-host with me once again.
Hello everyone, it's Bordick Simon. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day out there in BISM land. How you doing, Q?
I'm doing well. We have a, what would you call this one, Bordick? A batting good time ahead?
I think it's above average.
Oh, it's above average. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I'm working on my corny puns here in March. I got to prepare for spring and preparing to head out maybe to the baseball fields. Derek, who is our first guest?
Our first guest is a person who I have taken recently a significant interest in.
Ooh, significant.
Yeah, significant. We're using big words today. Scrabble is my favorite game. You know this. A Baltimore Orioles Hall of Famer, Mike Bordick. Would you like to introduce yourself real quick for us?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thanks so much for having me and the League of Dreams on today. Yeah, I used to play for the Baltimore Orioles. That was a long time ago. I've moved my focus to League of Dreams, a wonderful nonprofit. I love sharing my baseball experiences, that's for sure, but I'm certainly blessed to be a part of the League of Dreams. And unfortunately, our president, Frank Kolarek, couldn't be here today, but he has been so influential in my life and bringing the League of Dreams forward. And we're going to talk more about the League of Dreams, but it gives kids of any special need, any need at all, the ability to play and participate in sports. And we're expanding. We've been a part of our community for dang near 24 years. Started real small, but it's been so much fun to watch it grow. And I look forward to talking about it with you guys. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah.
Very cool. Q, would you like to introduce our second guest?
Yes, I can. So we have, as Mike mentioned, we weren't able to meet with Frank today. However, we've got maybe even better. His son, Adam Kolarek, who was a relief pitcher for several teams, including the Tampa Bay Rays. So Adam, would you please introduce yourself?
Thank you. Yes, my name is Adam Kolarek. My dad, Frank, started the League of Dreams about 25 years ago now. My background, I grew up here in Baltimore, went to the University of Maryland. I played baseball there before I started my professional career. Like you mentioned, I played for a number of teams, including Tampa, the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Mets, the Angels. It was a crazy ride that I enjoyed every second of the way, getting to fulfill my dream. I even got to win a World Series with the Dodgers a few years ago. So, yeah, like I said, it's been a surreal journey, and Maryland and Baltimore has always been my home, always will be. And now that my playing career is done, I get to be home with my family more and now be a part of League of Dreams full time and get to help expand this program that, like I said, my dad started and has grown to really impact so many lives. We get tons of volunteers every year. We work with local schools, we work with local children, regardless of their ability level. And just super excited to be here with you guys today to talk about our not just baseball careers, but what we're doing now with League of Dreams.
Awesome. Well, great listeners out there in what Derek calls BISM land, you're probably like, League of Dreams, baseball players. What is BISM doing on this one? And I'm here to tell you, we're talking about adapted sports. And in particular, the League of Dreams has a grand impact on making sure that there are adapted sports, in particular adapted baseball for different individuals with disabilities, as Mike said earlier. And you're going to hear more about that. But why does that relate to the blind community? And why does that relate to us here at BISM? Well, one, because we have played a good amount of adaptive sports here in all of our programming, whether it's in our youth programs, core program, or SAIL program. I can tell you last year during our summer program, there was a very heated beat baseball game between our youth students. I heard our youth manager actually got taken off her feet at some point because someone was trying to get to one of the bases, which doesn't normally happen. But it's a really fun time for blind individuals to be able to compete and interact with sports because the team building, the camaraderie, and all the skills and different things that you can get from sports are still valuable, even if you have a disability or blindness. And so we really wanted to touch on that and kind of show the community what opportunities there are for blind people and other people with disabilities to participate in adaptive sports, and then also to talk about, from Derek and I, some of our lived experiences with adaptive sports. So Adam and Mike, you guys started to tell us about the League of Dreams. Can you give us more context on what it is and sort of how the idea came about?
Well, I'd love to start this, Adam. First of all, I think we're both very fortunate. The Kolarek family cares so much about the community. Frank Kolarek, our president and founder, he was in Oakland A as well. So he has a great baseball background and came up wearing the green and gold. And he was exposed to a lot of volunteer work, helping kids with special needs. As a matter of fact, he started his career in the Special Olympics. So he had a feel for that, but he understood that not everybody was being reached. So he wanted to let every kid have an opportunity, no matter what the need was. And he started baseball really right in his backyard. I mean, started with 17 kids. And he helped kind of learning along the way, modify the sport of baseball. So we use bigger balls, we use softer balls, and it's all depending, I think, on the skill set that the individual has. And our athletes are really good. They care about being out there and they want to be challenged, which I think is the most fun. And you guys know through Beat Baseball, it is incredibly rewarding and you become incredibly competitive out there on the field. We're fortunate enough to work with the Maryland School for the Blind. So we're very familiar with Beat Baseball, but that's how sports are modified. And I think in the mainstream, we see athletes, skiers on ski chairs. We see prosthetics. We see wheelchairs that help athletes play basketball and things like that. So to have that kind of exposure and give kids and adults more opportunities to be a part of sport. And it's like you said, it's still great character building. I think it also is very influential on our volunteers. Adam mentioned how many volunteers have really been a part of this. And when they can go out in the community and look at anybody with any kind of special need and actually look at them as a peer, I think it makes an impact. And that's what we're excited about. We're excited about the experiences that we're giving young kids and the confidence that's built through sport and sometimes the modifications that need to happen so that they can actually enjoy the sport. So that's kind of League of Dreams in a nutshell. We're constantly trying to expand. We're into STEM now, science, technology, engineering, and math. So whatever it takes to give kids more opportunities, I think, to experience life in its fullest, that's what we're all about.
Yeah. Derek, we've talked around Beat Baseball, and before we started the show, you were regaling us with how you thought Beat Baseball was actual baseball when you were growing up. Could you kind of tell us about what Beat Baseball is and what that sport looks like to play?
Absolutely. So for the context, my dad played Beat Baseball, so when I was a wee child, maybe 3 or 4, I have memories of sitting at Beat Baseball tournaments with my dad and his friends. I cannot remember the team that they played for now because I was so young. Kind of the basis of the game is the ball is slightly bigger. I'd say about a little bit bigger than a softball. And the bases themselves kind of make a beeping sound that kind of indicates for athletes where they need to run. There's a sighted pitcher, and that pitcher is working with that team to help them hit that ball. And they are kind of running to those bases.
Once you catch the ball in the outfield, that's immediately a strike if that person can't make it to the base. One of the other cool differences is, so you're not running to 3 bases or you're not trying to make your way back to home. You're actually trying to just run to one base that's set farther out. And because the ball is heavier and the ball itself also beeps, and so the ball's beeping and then the bases are more like a high-pitched whine to a certain degree. The ball's a lot heavier, so when you hit it, it's out of there for the most part. Every now and then you get lucky and you can get it behind the defense, but you're not really grand slamming it. Those are some of the differences.
So it's very different from regular baseball, and I know that now as an adult. But it was a very interesting experience for me kind of growing up because that was the first kind of exposure I had to what an adaptive sport is.
Mike and Adam, have you both been able to go up to MSB and work with the students on Beat Baseball?
Yes, it's one of our favorite events that we get to do a few times a year. Getting to be a part of Beat Baseball, it's truly just it's an amazing experience both for the player and for those in attendance. You get to see kids running towards the bases, that feeling of elation when you make contact with the ball and you have to run as fast as you can to the base before the fielder makes the play. That feeling is something that I wish every kid could experience because that's how we fell in love with baseball, is that competitiveness. And it's a hard game, whether it's baseball on TV or Beat Baseball, it's a hard game. It's not easy to hit that ball and make contact, and it's not easy to field it before the runner makes it to the base. So it's that continuous effort to try to be as good of a player as you can be when you experience Beat Baseball for the first time. When I went out there, I put the eye shade on and had to try to make contact with the ball, it's very difficult. And it's amazing to watch those athletes at Maryland School for the Blind participate and have such a great time. And they honestly do a much better job than I do when I'm trying to hit the beat baseball. It's an amazing experience. And that's why we love bringing as many volunteers out there as we can. You know, we'll get local varsity teams from high school, we'll bring college athletes, professional athletes, and expose them to beat baseball, because it's really cool that you got to see it as a 3 and 4-year-old watching your dad play it. You know, I didn't get to see it until 2 years ago. It's relatively still new for me, but every time we can bring a new volunteer out and let them witness the magic of beat baseball, it's truly something that we're trying to continue to bring more and more people out to volunteer.
Yeah, it's definitely a great opportunity. And, you know, maybe just saying a different type of plug than my normal plug, but I don't see why there can't be a BISM beat baseball tournament, you know, League of Dreams collab with BISM and some of our youth programs.
The whole BISM.
Derek wants the whole BISM.
Department specific.
Derek wants a core versus sale.
Core versus sale versus the youth. Man. Oh, I want the whole thing.
Just for context, our sale program is our seniors. So like blind individuals of 55 and up. So Derek is rooting to be beaten by.
I'm telling you, man, some of those seniors are big, man.
Adam, when your father had this idea and he kind of brought it to fruition, do you know what some of the challenges were in terms of just establishing the League of Dreams? And like, was there any pushback from people like, well, maybe people with disabilities shouldn't be trying to get involved in sports. It's too dangerous. Why would they want to do that?
Sure. I think what Mike touched on earlier was we started off with only 17 players, 17 families, and those kids would come from all over Baltimore. Some would take the city transit bus and show up on a Saturday morning just to play baseball with us for an hour or two. And the really cool part is to see the parents of those children who for the first time are out there playing on a baseball field with other kids. And once you see that for the first time and truly experience it, you just want to have those experiences all the time and do as much as you can for kids. And I think that's what we do. It's what we specialize in. We're able to make it safe for everyone. If someone needs a little bit more help, we'll give them the help. You know, there's no reason you shouldn't have a chance to step up to the plate. And we want to give everyone that opportunity. I think the other part of it is when we bring out volunteers, they're able to kind of get that perspective of truly the joy of the game again. Me and Mike, for example, when we started as kids, we fell in love with baseball and we were able to make it our job and make it our career. And at times, baseball can be tough, the ups and downs that are involved. But those that can maintain that same kid-like passion for the game are the ones who can really succeed, because, you know, they're able to remember why they fell in love with the game in the first place. And watching the kids that we work with, you know, maybe have that experience for the first time, it's truly what makes it all worth it. We're always going to continue to reach out and just get the word out. My son, for example, just started kindergarten, and there was a family that I've just gotten to know when we're both standing there waiting for our kids to come out of school, and their child has a disability. And I just casually asked him, I said, has your son ever tried baseball before? I told him about League of Dreams and what we do, and we were able to exchange information, and they're so excited for the first time as about a 14-year-old to get a chance to play baseball for the first time. And that's all we're looking to do, is give that opportunity. And if it's just by word of mouth, if it's by doing podcasts like this, as long as we can get our word out and let people know what we're doing, I think we'll continue to reach more and more families.
That's so powerful, because you guys are equaling the playing field. It's so natural for both of you to be like, yeah, we want people with disabilities to have the opportunity to play baseball, because baseball is awesome. Sadly, though, there are lots of people that wouldn't think like that. And so it's really good when you have organizations and people out there that are helping sort of change the lives of individuals with disabilities and being trendsetters and setting a precedent so that that's a consistent opportunity, and other programs will eventually catch on and do similar things. Maybe there'll be a League of Dreams football one day. But let's learn more about the two of you. So, Mike, can you tell us, where did your passion and your love for baseball grow?
Yeah, well, my dad was always my coach at a young age, and he introduced me to all sports. And I played the big three: football, basketball, and baseball. And I'll be honest with you right now, my first love, or the sport that I loved the most, was actually football. But unfortunately, I didn't get big enough, I don't think. And when I was a senior in high school, they didn't come recruiting me to play football. but there was a local college coach at the University of Maine that asked if I'd come up there and play baseball. Personally, I didn't think I was that good of a player. I thought I was very raw athletically. But when I got to the University of Maine, I was surrounded by like-minded athletes that just, they had a common goal. They wanted to make themselves as good as they possibly could be. And the goal at the University of Maine was try to get back to the College World Series. And they had done that. And believe it or not, you guys, I know Maine doesn't sound like a hotbed for baseball, but back in the early 80s, the University of Maine program went to the College World Series 5 out of 6 years. And I was fortunate enough to go a couple years. Yeah, so I got some exposure. Now, that said, I didn't get drafted. I think this is part of what makes Adam and I think unique. And we're not unique stories. This happens all over the place where guys just really have to grind it out. They have to persevere through the ups and downs. They have to learn how to pick themselves up when there are challenges in front of them. And I think that's kind of what bodes so well for us working in the League of Dreams, because there are just great examples of that. We are surrounded by that basically on a daily basis. And when we can help pull kids up and say, this is what it's all about, man, let's keep going. And that's when you fall in love with something. You teach yourself the right way to go about things and get better and better. And for me, it happened through the minor leagues. And I finally got an opportunity with the Oakland A's in the major leagues. And the Oakland A's wasn't my only team. I ended up coming over and playing in Baltimore for a number of years, but I was traded to the Mets, and I finished my career up in Toronto playing for the Blue Jays. But those experiences were incredible, and I had a chance to play in 2 World Series. Now, I never hoisted that World Series trophy above my head, but it was just unbelievable experiences, and I love kind of sharing that with kids all over the place. It doesn't matter what level. I think Adam and I have an opportunity to be inspirational to some degree, say that you can do this, man. You can overcome. And that's really part of life. I know you guys know this as well as anybody. It's not easy, right? You get knocked down, you got to find a way to pull yourself back up. And I think that's what sports kind of taught me. And hopefully I can continue to, have that message for the youth and even adults, man, because it never gets easy through life. But when you're challenged and tested and you learn how to either go through an obstacle or find a way around it, you're going to be a better person for it.
That's so true. I definitely resonate with that message because I'm definitely one of those people who sports for sure changed my life. I had a very interesting childhood and it definitely wasn't always great. And when I got involved in sports, really, I guess starting in middle school, but I kind of really kicked off in high school, it became an outlet for me to the point where I started doing maybe too many sports. I don't know if that's really a thing, but I did wrestling, I did judo, I did blind soccer, I tried out lacrosse. Of course, I did beat baseball, I did goalball. And so all these things where just active, being a part of a team, having to put in hard work to grind and be successful. And so that's something that is impactful. And it leaves you with lasting memories, which I also think is important because that's what our, especially when we're young, like that's what our lives are kind of built on, as those lasting memories and the impressions that were made to us. And I think that's important. What about you, Adam? How did your baseball journey begin and how did that kind of manifest for you?
Well, my baseball journey as a kid, I was just constantly playing with my buddies and we would meet up, play home run derby in our friends' backyards, playing wall ball at school, just pretending to make plays and make pitches. And I think like most kids, your journey kind of starts from watching your heroes on TV and you think that baseball players in the big leagues are just immortal in some way. You see them in their uniforms and the big stadiums. And of course, you just envision yourself one day, man, wouldn't it be incredible to be out there like one of those guys? And for me, it was never a for sure thing to make it to the big leagues. Just playing with my friends, youth ball, high school ball, that was the big leagues to me. I loved every second of going to the field and I loved practice. I loved competing. I loved winning, the feeling, what it's like to get the big hit or strike the guy out to end the game. Those feelings are the same when you're 12 as they are when you're in the big leagues. That may be hard to believe, but it's true. I felt the same excitement in high school that I did in the World Series. I just loved it that much. And I got to play college baseball at Maryland. I loved it there. It really taught me what hard work truly meant, competing against some of the best players in the nation at the college level. getting drafted ended, it ended up happening. I showed some potential, but I was never a surefire, can't miss first round pick or anything like that. I really had to learn how to pitch and learn how to be a professional and what that meant to be ready to play every day. I was in the minors for about 8 years before I got an opportunity at the big league level. And there were plenty of times where I thought, minors might just be where I top out. Kind of crazy, but I learned how to throw sidearm. So I had a very unique pitching delivery. And that's something I kind of just taught myself to make myself unique, make myself different, and try to separate myself from the other relief pitchers around me. So it ended up working out. But once you make it to the big leagues and you have that first game, that first week, the next month is never guaranteed. I felt like I really had to fight and continue to try to improve every single day. And that lesson was going to stay with me for my whole life. You constantly have to improve and work on your skills and your crafts to become the best person and player and professional you can be, no matter what walk of life you're in. Now that I'm home and my playing days are behind me, it's been really fun to kind of look back and realize all that happened. At times, it went by so fast. And when you're going through the journey like that, you're really just trying to enjoy every second and make the most of every day, because everybody's playing career comes to an end at some point. Yeah, and I'm just so glad I got to share so many great memories with my family. And I have 2 young kids now, and they got to see me play a little bit, and we'll show them pictures and bring up all the fun travel stories we have. Baseball, like I said, I've loved it my whole life. I love watching it, talking about it, meeting Mike for the first time. He was someone I watched on TV out there in an Orioles uniform. And I'm going to the games as a 10-year-old and watching him at Camden Yards, and pretty cool, about, I guess, 20 years later when I'm 30, I got to play in Camden Yards as a member of the Dodgers. And not only that, but before one of the games, my dad, myself, Mike, and a few Orioles players, we put on a great League of Dreams event right there at Camden Yards. We got to bring out families who maybe had never been to a game before, let alone on the field. And we got to have an event in the morning, which was incredible. And again, just share the game of baseball with kids that maybe never have or will ever get another opportunity to be on a big league field like that. Those memories will last forever, not just for the kids, but for me and Mike and all those volunteers as well. So that's all we're trying to continue to do. Put on great events, give kids more experiences, and give that big league feel for anyone who wants to be a part of it.
Deal.
Absolutely. You said a lot of things that really kind of resonate with me. Growing up, sports is what kept me out of trouble most of the time, because I was a great student, but I also just couldn't sit still. So one thing I always tell people is that sports really builds character. I also, too, enjoy winning. But, I lost a bunch before I started to win a bunch, too. And that's a good lesson for anyone. You mentioned building that craft and pulling yourself up to stick out. And that's something that I feel like not only athletes, but just in general, whether it's in a job setting or anything, making yourself kind of stick out in that way where people are willing to take that chance on you is such an important thing. And sports is kind of where that started for, I think, a lot of people.
All right, Derek.
Is it time?
It's time.
It's always time.
Oh, man. It's the best time when it's time to spill the tea. All right. Mike and Adam, you have entered into the Spill the Tea Zone. This is one of our segments we like to do here on the podcast. It's going to be fun, and so brace yourselves. But first, Derek, I want to switch it up a little bit. I feel like I want to embrace a little bit of a challenge I've created for myself. You want to help me out with this?
I got
a little
you,
bit of an extended Spill the Tea.
Oh, no.
All right. We're going to give me 20 seconds, and I'm going to try to name as many crazy moments relating to sports that I know about in the blind community here in Maryland. Are you ready?
Hey, hold on. Let me get my timer ready.
Adam, how many do you think I got?
In 20 seconds, I say you got 5.
Okay, you think I got 5. Mike?
I'm going to go over 5.
Over 5. He's taking the over. I love it.
It's like over under.
Derek, what about you?
I'm going to give you a smooth 7.
A smooth 7. So we got 2 taking the over and 1 5 or under. All right, here we go.
You ready?
Yep.
And go.
Okay, so there was a blind Paralympic swimmer who went to Loyola University. The American School for the Blind holds the Guinness World Record for goal ball, which I'll talk about in a second. there's a beat baseball field that was donated by Cal Ripken. That is at MSB. There was a judo team judo students.
Time.
Oh man. Okay. The under hit. 20 seconds was too short. I
did that
duped
to
myself.
yourself,
I
man.
thought I could get to 5 too. The last one I was saying, there's a couple judo students who went up to the Paralympic training facility in Colorado to learn about judo. There's so many others. Back in January was the Special Olympics polar bear plunge, and I think that was their 30-year anniversary. So Maryland is just got tons of opportunity. All right, to the actual spill the tea. Mike and Adam, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
I love it.
I think you
They're always
scared them.
nervous. All right. So let's see. It's going to be a random question. So the random question is going to be, if you had to have entrance music whenever you walked into a room, what would it be and why?
Wow.
I know Mike's ready with that one.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Mike.
Actually, one of the coolest things towards the end of my career, they started having walk-up songs for players.
Mhm.
And I was always a classic rock guy, and Unchained was one of my original favorite songs from Van Halen. So if I were to walk into a room, I would say old school Van Halen, man, would get me going and fire it up to take on whatever was in front of me.
Hey, I love it.
It's a fantastic
All right.
answer.
Adam, what about you?
Well, for a pretty long time, I also really like rock music. But now with my 6 and 2-year-olds, I'm going to let them choose. So I know right now we are, even though it's early March, we're still listening to Christmas music. We got Jingle Bell Rock still playing.
Yeah.
We love it all the time.
Oh man, Jingle Bell Rock. I love that. That's
I'm
like
not
my
gonna
favorite
lie.
Christmas song.
I'm not gonna lie. I think that's my favorite answer we've ever gotten on Spill the Tea. That's up there for sure.
That's up there. All right. Well, so Derek, I'm going to swap the question for us. I want us to talk about our most funny and or embarrassing sports moment.
I'm really about to out myself on this
Oh
one.
yeah, do it.
This was high school youth nationals for gold ball. I believe this was 2015.
Okay.
And we were playing against the tournament favorite. I don't know, Q, do you remember the old Lakeshore Foundation team from back in the day?
Yes.
With Josh Wellborn and them?
Yes.
So we were playing against them, and my center had been swapped out for something. I can't remember what. And they put me in center. I am 14 playing against who to me look like grown men. This guy throws this ball at me. And I remember I slid over and I just knew I had it, right? I catch the ball. I'm like, oh my God, I blocked it. I did it. Jesus, I did it.
Okay.
I slid backwards and the ball pushed me back enough to where he scored with me in the net.
Yes.
I was over the line.
Yes.
The ball was over the line.
Yes.
We were both in the net.
Yes.
And I will never forget it.
Yes. He was pushed into the net. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Mine is beat baseball related. When I was also in high school, I said it like I'm like so old and I can't remember when I was in high school, but we had a beat baseball tournament and there was a bunch of us who had gone to school together. We thought we were going to be on the same team, but then our coach came in and was like, nah, what y'all think this is? I'm not putting together an elite squad. I'm dividing you all up. And I was like, oh no, because we were like, oh, because it was going to be 14. So we were like, yeah, we're about to win the whole thing. So when he divided us all up, he put my friend Jefferson on another team. And Jefferson was my arch rival. And the funny thing is, we're so totally different body types. He's speedy and like has a ton of agility.
I'm laughing because I also know Jefferson, and
yeah.
you saying that is the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, because and I'm very broad and I'm power, and so that's kind of what I would do. And so I get up to the plate and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this. This was the game to go to the finals essentially for this little tournament. And so I was like, all right, I had scored on every other run. And so I'm like, all right, I got this. This is easy. Jefferson was on the other side, on defense in the field. And so I was like, I just gotta beam it. That's all I gotta do. So I swing, boom, crush the ball. I swear to you, I took all of 3 steps. 3, okay? And he goes, got it. I was like, no, it's impossible. And what had happened was I hit it. I definitely hit it hard. And it landed but it landed on his head. It popped up and he grabbed it, and I'm out, and I was furious.
I can hear this entire exchange, knowing you and Jefferson like I do. I can hear this in my head. It's hilarious.
And it was our last strike, so we had to go to defense after that, and we weren't as good on defense, and so they won the game. So mad. So mad. So that has been Spilling the Tea.
We know we just spilled the tea, so here's some more tea for you.
Have you heard the great news? BISM on Tap is back. Saturday, March 28th at Checker Spot Brewing. And this year, we're kicking off the 40th anniversary of BISM's independence training and rehabilitation programs with a brand new beer. Come celebrate with us. Enjoy live music, raffles, and the exclusive release of Blind Spot Low Vision, a special edition hazy IPA brewed just for this milestone year. Tickets are on sale now. Don't miss it. Visit https://bism.org/giving/events. That's https://bism.org/giving/events.
We want to jump back in. And so if someone is new to a sport, we have a lot of listeners who might be like just now losing their vision or learning about new disability. So what is your pitch to them to say, hey, you should take a shot. Let's try this out and it could change your life?
Well, those were great stories, by the way. I enjoyed that Spill the Tea segment, that's for sure. I think sports are incredibly humbling, and you guys talk about that. That's amazing. Very good stuff. Listen, the League of Dreams and our motto is for every player who has a dream. Now, sometimes the hardest step getting into sports is that very first step. And the League of Dreams is so accepting and gracious with everybody that wants an opportunity to be a part of it. We welcome everyone. And I think that is really what kind of sets us apart. We've had exposure to so many different groups of kids. We're part of the Allied Sports in Baltimore County Public Schools. We go to the community colleges in the Beltway area, and we deal with kids that are really intimidated by getting out there and kind of exposing themselves to a sport they've never even had before or even challenged themselves with before. But as soon as they get out there and they feel the warmth of our volunteers, maybe making contact with a ball on a tee, and you hear the cheer of the crowd around them. Yeah. That is what hooks everybody. It hooked me as a young kid. I'm sure it hooked Adam when somebody said, hey, great play, or way to swing the bat. That's what happens to our kids. It's that first step forward. You really can't do anything wrong. You get support from everybody in the peer group. And I challenge everybody to get out there and try this, because we are expanding into other sports. I know you mentioned football, but we do soccer, we do basketball. We'll do any sport any kid wants to do. We've talked about golf, and just to give them the experiences out on the field and to be around their peers. I think that's what it's all about. So that is the hardest thing, taking that first step, no matter what, because everything looks so challenging out there. But man, we are a welcoming group. I think we all feel blessed to be a part of it, and we would welcome anybody that wants to be a part of the League of Dreams.
That's awesome. I really appreciate that, because I think when you think about individuals taking that first step, that really connects back to our mission here at BISM. All of our programming, or even just the people who come here to be employed, they're taking a big step, right? Employment, especially for blind people, when you talk about the unemployment rate and that sort of being a challenge, to take a step and to come to a place and to get the opportunity to work and to develop the skills, or to come to training, whether it's our seniors or our adults or our youth. So much of it is about that first step. And then again, like you said, to the community that's being built. We love that we can kind of share that, a similar mission with you all, in the sense of having people take that first step, providing them with a community that is warm, that is engaged, that is rooting for them. And we're super just grateful to have you both on the podcast and to have that experience of talking to you and learning a little bit about your stories. So if someone wants to reach out to the League of Dreams or get involved, what does that look like?
Well, you can look us up anytime. We have a website, leagueofdreams.org. We have contact information there. You'll be able to reach my dad, myself, Mike, anytime. We do a pretty good job of posting our events as well through our Facebook page and Instagram. And just, we always keep everyone up to date with events that we have coming up. And yeah, that's all we're trying to do is just invite everyone to come, just make people aware that we are out there and we're ready to help and we're ready to have you a part of our team as well.
Yeah, one more quick thing. The League of Dreams, what we do is we love to celebrate athletes. Okay, so we will make you feel comfortable and safe, and we will celebrate to you the best way we possibly can. And a big reason why we're able to do that is because we've developed great partnerships. We already talked about the Maryland School for the Blind. We've been with them for over 12 years. Got the Major League Baseball Alumni Association. You talked about the Cal Ripken Senior Field. They have been incredible partners for us to help us continue to put on programming. We've done events with the Orioles, like Adam said, Mount Washington Pediatric Hospital, University of Maryland. I mean, the list goes on. So we're out there. We have some exposure. Like I said, check out the social media site and the webpage and give yourself an opportunity to come out and enjoy some sports.
We love it. Well, thank you, Mike. Thank you, Adam. We appreciate you both coming on, and we appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. This has been fun. Hopefully, you guys got a couple chuckles out of our stories, and it was definitely awesome learning about you two. And thank you again for the work that you're doing with League of Dreams. You out there in BISM land, you should definitely check out the League of Dreams and get involved in athletics. Or if you have a kid or know someone, get involved or volunteer, right? Because as they said too, being a volunteer can be a really fun and rewarding opportunity. This has been the Beyond Sight of BISM podcast. Thanks for listening.